excited. OK, Lewis, what's on the front page of the Sunday Telegraph?
Oh, well, good news. Sunday Telegraph, top earners already fleeing Britain ahead of tax raids. And this is what is so funny about that? And this is basically the news is that millionaires with high income, of which I am one of them, ladies, any takers. But you got to lie to the ladies. They're lying to us.
Don't tell them you're lying.
They lie too. They got some women are beautiful, like my Crescent over here. But
so you're leaving with all your millions of dollars.
This is what they're saying. This is a total non-story.
No, it's not a non-story. This is Labour's.
Can I get to my point?
Well, could you get to the point?
Is that yeah? People are fleeing because people get their airplanes everywhere now, and you could live anywhere because you've got the internet. And
they've got airplanes now.
Yeah, they got airplanes, so you could go anywhere. You could do your business in Abu Dhabi or Bolivia, wherever you want to go to, and people know that they're going to come and take your money away from you.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And entrepreneurs in particular are particularly mobile. And the worry with this is that entrepreneurs and high earners, as well as paying the most tax and supporting all the lazy Labour voters, all the train drivers and people I need to get lots of welfare because I'm too lazy to get a job. As well as supporting all those people. They generate the jobs, they create all the innovation and drive the economy forward. So if they leave to go somewhere else that's got a less restrictive tax regime, less of a communist system, then they'll be generating the wealth and building the businesses in those countries. It's ridiculous.
But Labour are advising us that we should have compressed hours, and that might actually be more competitive. Labour have got all these ideas about how to promote growth. Are you saying that that's not true?
If people can do their job in fewer hours, then they're lazy. They're not working hard enough. It's ridiculous. You think we could do this show in 12 minutes? No, it's an hour-long show.
Lewis can't do one joke in 12 minutes.
When we're supposed to do the show.
It's not compulsory. Leo, let's move on to The Observer, please.
So The Observer has J.D. Vance. They say J.D. Vance attacks working women as being on path to misery in unearthed audio. I mean, this is a bit of a sort of florid retelling of what happened. This is a 2021 podcast, so it's not like he just said it as he's running for vice president. He is Donald Trump's running mate in the presidential election. But he said that professional women choose a path to misery by prioritising their careers over having children. I think that's true in a number of cases. I think it's perfectly possible to have a career and have children as well. Like my wife's got a great job, much better than mine, and we've got kids, and that's great. He also in the podcast made some other good points. He claimed the masculinity of men in America is suppressed and attacked immigrants and Democratic Republican Ilhan Omar. So he said about her that she'd shown ingratitude to America and that she would be living in a crap hole, can I say that, if she had not moved to the US from Somalia as a refugee. Now, The Observer, The Guardian, whatever you want to call it, they seem to be making the point that Somalia is is some sort of wonderful place, and America's objectively, Somalia is a worse place than America. That's why people from Somalia seek refuge in America. People want to move, risk their lives to get it.
Travel is that way around.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with this story is that, women are unhappy if they follow the career path. But they're also unhappy if they get married and have kids. They're just unhappy. I've never met a happy woman.
You've never met a happy woman.
I've never met a happy I didn't mean it that way, Cressida.
I think he's saying something we just don't get to hear. It's not that one's definitely always true and the other's definitely always false. Yeah. It's just that we don't hear this very much. So fair play
No, Cressida, you're totally right. We don't get to hear it. That's why it's so shocking. But the truth is that women are unhappy people.
But it does point to...
support me on this.
Look at his wife's happy.
It points to an issue with Donald Trump's campaign, because if he'd chosen, say, Tulsi Gabbard, a strong woman as his running mate, he'd be reaching out to disaffected female voters who might be going with Kamala just because they're, she's a woman and all the rest.
But Gabbard will become president at some point.
J.D. Vance is he just appeals to the same people Trump appeals to anyway. So it's just, getting the base more likely. They're going to come out and vote for him anyway. So I think Trump maybe made a bit of a strategic error getting J.D. Vance on side instead of
I disagree. It is not I've been following this a little bit. It's not a strategic error, because the truth is that people are going to vote vote for Trump are not voting for Trump. They're voting for the side. And people who are voting for Kamala Harris are voting for that side. It doesn't matter.
Yes, you can bring more people over to your side.
No, people are not going to go over because, she's a woman.
Oh, they would.
I think they would. If Trump had especially an ethnic minority woman, I think that would be...
Do you know something? Totally, they would not.
And Tulsi's great as well.
And you know what? She's not. She might be great, but like all women...
OK, right, 1 minute to do this one, Lewis. Finally, we're going to have a quick look at the front page of the Mail on Sunday.
Harry asked former aides to help plot his return from exile. And this is our Prince Harry. He's the second son. He's got no future whatsoever. And he went mental because of his wife. You can blame his wife or his mother, or maybe Prince Charles, because Charles was cheating on his wife, so he hated his father, and then he said some bad things about Charles, and now he wants to. I'm not explaining this properly, but the truth is Harry's in America. He's not going back to Britain.
And that's fine.
That's the news.
Well, he's got a very unusual background, hasn't he? I don't find it... I mean, he is a prince. Most of us ask our mates for a bit of help, don't we? What should I do? I'm working with this lunatic. What should I do about it? They can't help, obviously.
But it happens in a business thing. Let's say they fire me, and I got to call my friend Leo and say, Leo, can you help me out? He's not going to answer the phone at that point. But that's what happens in every business. Who are you going to ask for help except the people...
Ask Lewis Schaefer on Twitter.
Sorry about that.
That's the front. Start this section with The Observer. Leo, is our beloved NHS turning into a poor service for poor people?
Yeah, it looks like it. So NHS queues mean that most Britons expect to pay for healthcare, according to this report by the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, which points to a critical shift in expectations and says the public now budget for many routine services. So on average, people budget £200 a year for spending on private healthcare. And most people in the UK now believe they will have to spend their own money on private healthcare for routine services such as dentistry, which isn't really covered by the NHS, physiotherapy and counselling, because they won't be able to get them quickly on the NHS. According to this research, and a record, almost 1 million people were admitted to private hospitals in 2023, which is, this a really staggering amount. It's risen a lot in quite a short period of time. So people are spending, if you need to have a cataract removed, you've got to wait for months and months and months. So people will spend, £3,000 to have it removed, or 15 grand on a new hip, because, do you want to spend years waiting for the operation, or will you just pay for it? But it means that, as Labour raise taxes, a lot of people are going to be paying a lot more tax, and they're not going to be getting the service back. The services that they pay for will be enjoyed by other people. And so there's not as much incentive, morally and psychologically. People won't feel part of the cohesive, unit, everybody using the same services. So I think, it's more of an incentive for people to do what Lewis was talking about in the other story and leave the country.
Right. I wondered what you meant.
Or maybe you don't use the NHS. Maybe this is... First of all, when the NHS was set up after the war, nobody went to counselling. There was no counselling back then, And so the dentistry, nobody went to the dentist. They had their teeth pulled. They didn't have dentistry like they have now. The problem is that only less... So 1 million people went to the... I'm getting my... I have a heart scan thing, just to see if I'm doing okay. I'm doing amazing. But, in America, it's $99. Here, it's $1,300, Cressida.
What? I thought America was supposed to be more expensive.
No, it isn't, because there's competition. So when you're going to pay for it, you go to the... They say, you must have money, so we're going to charge you $13.
So really, then, long term, we're looking at private healthcare, aren't we?
Well, of course we're looking at... Because the truth is, when they set up the NHS, people weren't... They didn't think, it's like, how long is a piece of string? If it's free, give me an entire ball. Yeah. If I have to pay by the inch, I'll just take this much string.
And you can see so many British people, they know the NHS is free, they know that they can get patched up for free, so they let their bodies just absolutely degenerate into, they're fat, they're slovenly, they're lazy.
Yeah,
apart
completely.
From Lewis Schaefer, obviously. Yeah. Looking at the Mail on Sunday, Lewis, someone in Estonia has plagiarised the Rwanda plan.
Oh, yes. Is this in Australia? What is this? What story?
No, it's in Estonia.
Oh, in Estonia. I thought you said Australia. Did you say Australia?
No, I said Estonia, like what it says on the story.
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. Was that right? I was kidding. That was a joke.
This is the slickest The slickest story you've ever covered.
This is the worst show that I've ever done, honestly. I just feel like I was fighting all day with my girlfriend.
Could you read the headline?
British prisoners could soon be housed in Estonian jails after numbers imprisoned in England and Wales hit record high of 88,000. People, so what they're saying is we don't have any prisoners here because we're arresting little old ladies for sending a tweet out or for yelling at a horse or something, or for yelling at a cop. We're not allowed to yell at a cop. So we'll send them to Estonia. People don't know where Estonia is. It's above Latvia, which is above...
Pretty cold up there.
It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. It's right next to Russia.
I bet it's got nice prisons, though. Well-run prisons.
You know what? It probably does, because I guess because they were a new country and they wanted people to be proud. But only 88,000 people are in prison, which is different than a jail. Prison in this country, which compared to like 2.5 million in America, and we are America is large.
Yeah, but if our prisons are full, they're full, aren't they, Leo?
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Is this madness or is this a practical solution?
Yeah, this is a practical solution. This is a lot like using private healthcare when the NHS doesn't have capacity to treat everybody because you've opened your borders to the entire world.
Yeah.
So this is sending people to Estonia to go to jail there. It's the private sector. We do it with power. If one country's got more electricity than another country, the grids shuffle the power around. Yeah. So why not do it with prisoners as well?
It'll make visiting very difficult, won't it?
Well, it might make it, but not that difficult, because it's probably to go to Estonia. It probably takes 2 hours on a plane.
Yeah, you try $5.99.
Yeah, for nothing on Ryanair, whatever. But you go down to Cornwall or something, or Devon with a mountain, there's a mountain and there's a whatchamacallit on top, a prison on top of the mountain. And what is it called? Dartmoor Prison or something. I'm not sure. But it's going to be it may be better. It's not going to be any better. It's going to be
about the same.
But the real problem is we're locking up, like Lewis said, locking up 11-year-olds. We're locking up, women who send a tweet. And some of the memes that are being shared aren't even offensive. I don't know how any judge could see them as inciting violence or anything like that. So I think we need to look at the two-tier justice system. Even the police, the front cover of one of the other papers was saying, basically the police were admitting, we need to tackle this perception by stopping doing it.
Very good.